Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Eclectic Reads. Today, I want to talk about Sacred Clowns by Tony Hillerman. I don't know what number book this is in the Leaphorn and Chee mystery series, and it really doesn't matter. I'm not reading the books in order, but I will put that number in the description. Tony Hillerman was a white author who wrote a very long-running series set in the Dene Reservation, Navajo. I think it's in New Mexico. And we are following Lieutenant Joe Leaphorn. He has now hired Jim Chee to be his assistant. And these books are very well researched. In his lifetime, Tony Hillerman was well regarded and respected by people within the Dene community. So, I've always felt fairly comfortable reading these books. Now, of course, there may be inaccuracies, but I have found these books to be not only really interesting mysteries, but also really give you insight into cultural practices in the Navajo Nation and little details. For example, I remember reading Skinwalkers before this one. This is the second Tony Hillerman novel I've read. And in Skinwalkers, there is a scene where Jim Chee is trying to make a house call, but he doesn't go up to the person he's trying to visit and knock on her door. Instead, he waits for her to come out to welcome him in. And this is part of one of the hospitality practices. So in each of these books, there are a number of different little, sometimes what appear to be very little details, but that really give us insight into the dynamics of this community, their sense of justice, like what justice means. That's a big theme in this book, and also like religion. This book, particularly Sacred Clowns, is dealing with a Kachina ceremony. Now, in the beginning of the story, Jim Chee has a new girlfriend. She is Navajo as well, but like her mother is Irish descent, white, and her father was Navajo. She grew up in the city, and she was a lawyer. Well, she is a lawyer. And she is representing somebody who has been accused of murdering a teacher who teaches shop at the local school. It is believed that it was just a robbery. They found the stuff that was stolen in the defendant's house. So they arraigned him, and she's representing him. Well, Jim Chee is at a Kachina ceremony with her and with some other people. He has been directed to look for a boy who has escaped from boarding school. And he hates it because he wants to be on a more high profile case. He wants to be involved in the investigation of who murdered that shop teacher. He doesn't want to be looking for this boy. But as it turns out, those two cases are connected. And this Kachina ceremony involves these clowns that are called koshare. And the clowns are supposed to kind of expose the follies of humanity and serve as social critique. And one of the koshares, a man named Sayesva, who just so happened to be the uncle of the boy who ran away from boarding school, is murdered. And so now we have three different cases that Jim Chee and Lieutenant Leaphorn are trying to piece together. There are different agencies involved. Sometimes the feds are really focusing on Sayesva, and they don't want Leaphorn to be involved because Leaphorn is just the tribal police. He's supposed to be focusing on stuff that aren't federal cases. The FBI and the Bureau of Indian Affairs deals with federal cases. But of course, Jim Chee and Leaphorn are still going to get involved. I really loved this book. There were so many moments that I found emotional, and I'm not going to explain what happens. But there are always tender moments in these books. Like when I read Skinwalkers, Joe Leaphorn's wife has this mysterious illness, which in this book we learned she died, and he also has a new girlfriend. She was a professor at the nearby university, or she is a professor at the nearby university. I would recommend these books to anybody who wants more than just a mystery, who wants a story that is about the characters, about the cultures. I think it would really appeal to cozy mystery readers, even though obviously these are not cozy mysteries. The investigators are not amateurs, like they are professionals. I absolutely will be reading more. Tony Hillerman's daughter, Anne Hillerman, has continued the series, and I've read the reviews. It's mixed, but obviously there's only so much she can do to try to imitate her father's voice. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Let me know if you've read a Leaphorn and Chee mystery and if you have a favorite in the series, because he wrote so many books. I would love to prioritize the ones that are the best. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.